From the Bottega Veneta story, we not only satisfy the curiosity of why is Bottega Veneta, a fashion brand without a logo, so expensive, but we learn three very good lessons. First, true luxury comes from skill, not logo. Anyone can monogram a handbag, but very few brands can create a product that speaks for itself without having to say it. Bottega's entire identity is built on exquisite craftsmanship, and that is what makes it timeless. Second, simplicity can be the ultimate elegance. In a world full of loud and trend-driven brands, choosing something subtle and understated can actually feel more powerful. And third, brands that dare to go against the crowd are often the ones that become legendary. Bottega doesn't chase trends, they redefine the industry. And that alone is a lesson in creativity, confidence, and long-term thinking. If you are considering a Bottega Veneta purchase, here is my advice. Start by being honest about your goals. Are you buying for personal style, or are you thinking about resale value? If it is style, focus on what you love, the feel, the craftsmanship, the design. If it is resale value, go for the iconic pieces, Cabot, Jodi, Cassette, and Andiamo. These tend to hold their value best over time. Also, learn about the materials and weaving techniques. Understanding the details in each piece will help you appreciate it more and shop smarter. And if your budget is tighter, consider reputable resale sites. Bottega products are very durable over time, so used items are often a great value. The prices of Bottega Veneta's top products raise a big question. Why is Bottega Veneta so expensive? Bottega Veneta's most expensive items are almost always large, limited edition handbags, or designs made from rare skins like crocodile. And when you look at the numbers, the prices alone should make you stop and wonder, how did a brand without a logo get to this level? Take the Cabot bag for example, one of Bottega Veneta's most iconic designs, and certainly one of the most labor-intensive items they have ever produced. A large or special edition Cabot bag can cost between $9,500 to $11,000. Why? Because each Cabot is handcrafted entirely using the intrecciato weaving technique. There are no shortcuts, no machines, just pure craftsmanship that takes hours to complete. Then, there are their distinctive ready-to-wear pieces, some of the rarest items the brand has ever released. Some of the leather jackets, woven leather skirts, or experimental designs are said to cost close to $3,000. These items do not sell often, and when they do, they disappear quickly. Even a standard intrecciato leather jacket costs around $9,200. At the high end, you will find oversized totes and duffels. A large intrecciated duffel or maxi Veneta can cost between $6,200 to $9,100. The large Andiamo bag, one of the latest at bags, is priced between $8,700 to $9,100. Even the knot clutch, especially in a unique leather or metal version, can cost upwards of $7,500. Most of Bottega's popular handbags, like the Jodi or Cassette, range from $3,900 to $5,700. So when a brand's entry point is already $2,000, and its top-of-the-line pieces cost over $11,000. This naturally leads us to the big question that drives this entire video. So why is Bottega Veneta so expensive? And that is exactly what we are about to explore. To understand why, let's go back in time and explore the origins of Bottega Veneta. Because to understand why the brand is so expensive today, we need to understand its origins. The story begins in 1966 in Vicenza, a quiet town in northern Italy. This is where Michele Tade and Renzo Zengaro opened a small leather workshop with a simple goal: to create the finest leather goods in Italy. But they immediately encountered a technical problem. The sewing machines they had couldn't handle the thick leathers that other brands were using at the time. Most companies would have just bought new machines, but not these two. Instead, they innovated. They chose to work with thin, soft leather, cutting it into strips and weaving those strips together entirely by hand. From that limitation, from that technical frustration, was born something revolutionary, the intrecciato weave. And it wasn't just a technique, it became an identity, a pattern so distinctive, so beautifully woven, that it was considered a logo without a logo. This was the beginning of Bottega's philosophy. Let the craftsmanship speak. Don't let the brand speak. Over the decades, the brand has gone through several eras, each of which shaped the Bottega Veneta of today. First came Laura Moltito, who took over the brand in a difficult period after the founders left. She revived the brand, brought it back into the cultural spotlight, and even attracted the attention of icons like Andy Warhol. Her leadership helped Bottega regain its place as a name synonymous with artistic luxury. Then came a major shift. Gucci Group, now known as Kering, acquired Bottega Veneta. This move didn't dilute the brand. Instead, it gave Bottega the resources to expand globally while maintaining its identity under Kering. Thomas Mayer took the helm and introduced what many now call quiet wealth, luxury that whispers rather than shouts. He took the brand back to its roots. Pure craftsmanship, no logo, no noise. In his time, Bottega became a symbol of quiet sophistication. Next came Daniel Lee, the creative director who sparked the new Bottega revolution. His designs, Pouch, Cassette, Jody, became international sensations and redefined modern luxury with bold minimalism. Today, Matthew Blasi continues that legacy with a deep respect for Italian craftsmanship, innovation, and tradition. Throughout the ages, one thing has remained constant: Italian craftsmanship, modern minimalism, and understated luxury. Now let's break down the real economics behind Bottega Veneta's exorbitant prices. Because once you understand how these products are actually made, how the supply chain works, and how the brand manages scarcity, the numbers suddenly make a lot more sense. This isn't just luxury pricing. It's a combination of economics, craftsmanship, and strategy. First, let's start with the most important part. It's handmade with human hands behind every piece. Take the Cabot bag as a prime example. An artisan spends 2 to 3 days weaving strips of leather together using the intrecciata method. It's not manual labor. It's meticulous, skillful, and highly disciplined. The stitches must be tight, the leather must retain its elasticity, and the pattern must be consistent across the entire piece. And most importantly, this process cannot be automated. You cannot put intrecciato fabric into a machine and mass produce it. You need artisans who have spent years, sometimes decades, perfecting their technique. And when something cannot be scaled, what happens? Supply remains low, demand remains high, prices rise. It's basic economics, but amplified in the world of luxury fashion, where scarcity actually increases desire. When an artisan spends days on a product, the brand cannot produce thousands of bags per week like other fashion houses. And Bottega is perfectly fine with that, because for them, the time spent is part of the value, craftsmanship is only part of the price. The materials themselves are equally important. Bottega Veneta uses super soft Nappa leather, known for its buttery smooth texture, rare leathers like crocodile, which require special treatment, and custom-dyed leather created specifically for Bottega. Special tanning and finishing processes ensure the leather will last a lifetime. These materials don't come cheap, and because Bottega uses thin strips of leather to weave, they have to be extremely selective. The leather must be flexible enough to weave, durable enough to not tear, smooth enough to maintain a luxurious feel, and uniform enough to fit the entire product. Most brands can hide imperfections with embossing, stiffening, or stitching. Bottega doesn't. The weaving reveals everything, so the raw materials must be near perfect, and perfect materials always cost more. And when exotic animal skins like crocodile, ostrich, and python appear, prices skyrocket. Crafting exotic animal skins requires special certification, limited supply, and highly skilled artisans trained specifically for the material. In other words, you're not just paying for a bag, you're paying for the best version of a bag that human hands and natural materials can produce. And the reason Bottega's no logo, craftsmanship must be valuable, is what really differentiates it from other luxury brands. Gucci can slap a giant G on anything and people will instantly recognize it. Louis Vuitton can monogram it and sell it out. Balenciaga can rely on its iconic branding and viral designs. But Bottega has none of that. No logo, no monogram, no iconic designs. When you remove the branding, you remove the easiest way to justify the high price. So what is left for Bottega that makes it so expensive? The materials. The construction, the distinctive minimalism, the uniqueness of the silhouette, and the performance of the materials over time. Every stitch, every pleat, every weave has to be worth the price because there is no logo behind it. And ironically, this lack of branding has become the ultimate kind of branding. The absence of a logo has become the most powerful brand statement. Because when you buy Bottega, you don't buy status through a symbol. You buy status through knowledge, the kind of quiet sophistication that only those who understand craftsmanship can appreciate. It's luxury for people who don't need the world to know they're wearing luxury. And the last reason is the scarcity of Bottega Veneta. The brand practices intentional scarcity, which is shown through limited production. They do not mass-produce bags, even popular models. There is no factory flooding the market of new products. This helps to keep supply low and exclusivity high. Not only that, but also limited stock in stores. When you walk into a Bottega store, you will notice this. The shelves are not fully stocked. The colors are limited. Some styles are not available at all unless you pre-order. This is not because they are out of stock. It is because scarcity creates desire, and they do not mass market. They do not flood the world with advertising. They do not chase attention. They do not plaster their brand on every billboard. Luxury is not for everyone because luxury is discovered. They even took a break from social media for a while. This was one of the boldest moves in the entire industry. The funny thing is that most fashion brands are begging for social media engagement. Bottega said, "No thanks," and the results, people are talking about them more. Their fan base skyrocketed. Their cultural impact is stronger than ever. Scarcity isn't a side effect, it's a strategy. Bottega Veneta gives you a feeling. When you combine artisanal production, premium materials, a logo-free identity, and intentional scarcity, you not only get a premium price, but you also get a high perceived value, which is even more powerful. This is why Bottega Veneta can charge such high prices, and this is why people are willing to pay. Because in a world full of loud luxury, Bottega Veneta has mastered the art of quiet power. But of course, not everyone agrees on what makes Bottega Veneta special, and honestly, the controversy surrounding the brand is one of the reasons it has remained so culturally relevant. On the one hand, there are those who truly love Bottega for its understated elegance. They appreciate the craftsmanship, the minimalism, the clean lines. To them, Bottega is the definition of understated luxury, a brand that whispers rather than shouts. But on the other hand, the criticism can be surprisingly harsh. I've seen people say things like, in the Philippines, some people think the woven bags look like the ones you see at the fish market. It's harsh, but it shows how controversial design can be. And then there's the cassette bag, one of Bottega's most iconic products. Critics have called it nothing more than the viral leather bag that went viral on TikTok, a trend driven by influencers rather than innovation. Which raises a bigger question, one that has been debated endlessly. Is minimalism really luxury or just effective marketing? Some say Bottega is redefining modern luxury. Others say the brand is selling simplicity at a premium. Either way, these controversies keep the conversation going and make it all the more compelling. No matter how you argue, Bottega Veneta is still popular. The evidence is everywhere, on the red carpet, during fashion weeks, at major events, and in the closets of some of the world's top celebrities. Bottega is not a brand that everyone wears. It has become a symbol of modern quiet luxury. You will see Bottega pieces worn by celebrities, artists, and entrepreneurs who prefer subtlety over flashiness. They are people who do not need a giant logo to make their mark. Take Rihanna, for example. She has been spotted carrying pouch bags and cassette bags countless times. Rihanna makes luxury look effortless, and Bottega fits that bill perfectly. Zendaya loves the brand too. Whether she is walking the red carpet or attending Fashion Week, she is wearing Bottega ready to wear and carrying the brand's minimalist handbags. Her choices reflect the modern, elegant aesthetic the brand has become known for. Then there is Hailey Bieber, who has helped make the pouch and Jody bags global it bags. Her street style is almost a mood board for minimalist luxury, and Bottega Veneta is an integral part of her style. Dakota Johnson also has a long-standing relationship with the brand, often choosing BV's subtle, logo-free designs for press events, launches, and even for everyday wear. And of course, Timothée Chalamet, known for redefining menswear, regularly chooses Bottega Veneta pieces for photo shoots and red carpets. His contemporary, forward-thinking style pairs perfectly with BV's exquisite craftsmanship and clean lines. What truly sets Bottega apart is the intrecciato weaving technique. It is incredibly difficult to replicate. The craftsmanship is incredibly high, and the designs are timeless. Bottega does not follow trends, they shape them. And this influence is amplified in their runway shows, especially under Daniel Lee and now Matthew Blazy, whose collections have become some of the most anticipated moments in fashion. Bottega isn't as well known, but their influence is undeniable. So, is Bottega Veneta really a good investment? Well, it depends. On the plus side, some models hold their value extremely well, especially the cassette, Jody, Andiamo, and Cabot. Limited editions and unique materials can even appreciate in value over time, and the rise of quiet luxury globally remains in strong demand. But there are risks. Exclusive colors can have poor resale value. Market prices are volatile, and not every collection becomes an icon. In most cases, you are investing in craftsmanship and experience, not a guaranteed return. Bottom line, Bottega is a style investment, with some financial success from the Bottega Veneta story. We not only satisfy the curiosity of why is Bottega Veneta, a fashion brand without a logo, so expensive, but we learn 3 very good lessons. First, true luxury comes from skill, not logo. Anyone can monogram a handbag, but very few brands can create a product that speaks for itself without having to say it. Bottega's entire identity is built on exquisite craftsmanship, and that is what makes it timeless. Second, simplicity can be the ultimate elegance. In a world full of loud and trend-driven brands, choosing something subtle and understated can actually feel more powerful. And third, brands that dare to go against the crowd are often the ones that become legendary. Bottega doesn't chase trends. They redefine the industry. And that alone is a lesson in creativity, confidence, and long-term thinking. And if you are considering a Bottega Veneta purchase, here is my advice. Start by being honest about your goals. Are you buying for personal style, or are you thinking about resale value? If it is style, focus on what you love, the feel, the craftsmanship, the design. If it is resale value, go for the iconic pieces, Cabot, Jody, Cassette, and Andiamo. These tend to hold their value best over time. Also, learn about the materials and weaving techniques. Understanding the details in each piece will help you appreciate it more, and shop smarter. And if your budget is tighter, consider reputable resale sites. Bottega products are very durable over time, so used items are often a great value. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave your comments on this video and suggest what content we should analyze next in the comments section below. Why is it so expensive? If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what topic you would like me to cover in the next video. See you next time!